Hello and season's greetings from the White Stripes. This is Meg White, and in the spirit of the season, Jack is going to read you a passage from the Gospel of Matthew.
Thanks, Meg.
I'd like to introduce to you a band that you know and love. Come to you like the sound of equipment being thrown from a moving van, the sound of dead cell phones and oil rigs, the sound of empty parking lots and school buses. They love to live and live to love. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Children of America, the White Stripes.
Hello, come on in. The water's great. My name is Ryan Schaap, and this is the hardest podcast to podcast, a podcast celebrating the White Stripes' entire catalog, one song at a time. Another video podcast. I enjoyed having the video available on YouTube last week, and we're going to keep it going again. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on Spotify, though. I find the video option on Spotify a little clunky. It almost defaults to it, and I feel like if you want video, you go to YouTube, you seek the darn thing out. Take a nice little swig of the old fridge cig here with the got Santa Claus on the can here, because man, it is Christmas time, and this is the Christmas episode. By all accounts, it will be the only Christmas episode of the hardest podcast to podcast in this platform, as they only have one Christmas song that we know of, and that is Candy Cane Children. I don't know why I'm speaking like that. I'm going to stop now. They only got one Christmas song that we know of. It's Candy Cane Children. That song had been around for a little while. We'll get into it with our dear friend Mike Noble, the first three-peater guest on the hardest podcast to podcast. With the year wrapping up, with it being the Christmas episode, I thought, who do I enjoy speaking to the most? And I hope he doesn't hear this part, but yeah, it's probably Mike. Mike is a great friend and a great guest. I've got my vinyl copy here. I've had this for over 20 years now, for sure. This is Merry Christmas from the White Stripes. So this is an XL recording because there's nothing on the back. If you look at the North American pressing, there's a whole bunch of verbiage, a whole bunch of song credits. But on this version, there's nothing. And it's just, it's clean as a whistle, as you see Meg there with her Polish house blessing, which most undoubtedly has to be Jack White's house. But this is one of the coolest pieces of artwork that the White Stripes have ever released. It's very tongue-in-cheek and very fun and very them. And if you're listening to this on audio on your streaming platform of choice, if you go to youtube.com/hardestpodtopod, you can see me fiddling around with this vinyl. So I definitely, XL recording. So if it was in my research for this, things I would have obsessed about when I was a teenager, I would have known that the UK pressing is on black vinyl and the North American one is on white vinyl. So this is an XL recording. I bought it off eBay, I want to say 03 or maybe 04. It came out in 2002. This is limited. This one I'm holding here is limited to 1,000 copies. It's got some etching on here that I think is about like Xmas 01 or something. Here it is. It says, fantastic. Guys, what the hell does this say? Guys, the Exchange. Is that what it says? Guys, the Exchange. And then it says something else on it. It says Damont? And that's not. It says be there. Did I get a fake? I better not have. And over here it says, WS Xmas 1-B1. And then it says Damont here. Maybe that's where it was pressed, but okay, it says the things that it should say on here. Guys, men, women, children, and all humans that consume this podcast, I started sweating there. Like, I got a fake. But No, this was purchased, I'd say 23 years ago off eBay, probably from the UK. I probably paid a ungodly amount of money for this, but not as much as I would have maybe 4 years later. So maybe I struck when the iron was pretty hot, but got way hotter. So that's what we're talking about this week. It is Christmas time. I woke up today. That Christmas is, the holiday season has absolutely snuck up on me. Realizing that Christmas was this week. It's on Thursday. This is coming out Tuesday morning, like the day before Christmas Eve. So like the late in the week placement has bamboozled me in preparation for Christmas. But I definitely think I'm ready. I'm done shopping. Curious. I'll let you know if I get any White Stripes themed presents like I did for my birthday. But I don't know. I also grabbed another thing I wanted to show you. Candy Cane Children, we'll talk about it. It is on a split 45 or a compilation 45 7-inch single with two other bands. So there's 3 songs on it. Around this time, the White Stripes also appeared in another kind of split single, which also really goes back to the last episode, Handsprings, their dear friend Josh Custodio, where the White Stripes were still trying to get exposure and coverage and just to be known and that they were out making music. So they appeared on a fair bit of split EPs and split 7-inch singles. And so I have this here. This is It Takes Two, put out by Sympathy for the Record Industry, which was what the White Stripes were on before they moved to V2 and XL. It says it's promotional only and it's not for sale. It's called It Takes Two, Baby. And it's got a couple bands on here. It's got White Stripes doing Fell in Love with a Girl. It's got Mr. Airplane Man, Rizzo, and Bantam Rooster. Bantam Rooster is on a few White Stripes releases in this compilation stuff. But this was one of the first 7-inch singles I bought off eBay in high school once I started working. And it's probably the best artwork you'll ever see. It's Noah's Ark. They are walking up the plank, and it's all the 2-person bands because that is who is featured on It Takes Two, Baby. And of course, and who are the last to hop on the ark? But Jack and Meg, and Meg's keeping her watchful eye over, making sure that this is legit. So I wanted to show that too. Because these compilation, these kind of indie compilation 7-inch singles are a big part of the White Stripes for a handful of years of their history and their lore, if you will. Let's talk about a couple things. buymeacoffee.com/hardestpod2pod. That URL again is buymeacoffee.com/hardestpod2pod. If you want to support this show, if you want to throw us a couple of bucks, if you want to help keep the lights on, the cameras rolling, all that lovely stuff, and just let us know that you think we're doing a good job, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/hardestpod2pod. You'll also want to follow our social media channels. We are everywhere except Facebook and X, the Everything app, the app formerly known as Twitter, at hardestpod2pod. So Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, hardestpod2pod. You'll want to follow us there. If all goes well, there could be some fun things that are being shared there and maybe even an announcement over the holiday break. But yeah, hardestpod2pod, either at buymeacoffee.com or across social media. Now, if you're wondering, Ryan, you just barfed up so many URLs and websites and gizmos and doodads and 7-inch singles. Well, listen, we got the domain. Go to hardestpod2pod.com. And that's where you can find just about everything you need to know about this podcast. And if you want to send me an email, if you're not on social media, send it to Ryan@hardestpod2pod.com. Well, with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's say you're new here. Let's say maybe Mike Noble appearing for his 3rd time. You're a big Hotel Mira fan or just a fan of Mike, and you go, what the hell is the point of this show? It's simple. We're doing one episode a week, and we're doing one song per episode, and we are doing the entire White Stripes catalog. We're picking the songs at random with the exception of 3 songs. Those 3 songs are picked by me. They are held close to the vest. Nobody knows what they are. And those are reserved for the man himself, Mr. Jack White, because the lofty goal of this show is to have Jack White appear on this show not once but thrice. to discuss 3 different songs. So he will be here. If all goes well, if we achieve our goals, we'll get him on this show 3 times and discuss a couple of his songs and the White Stripes songs. So that's what we're doing. If you're new here, you're a first timer, thank you very much for checking us out. Thanks for listening. I hope you're enjoying it. Like I said, holiday season. It is Christmas time. I hope when this comes out, it'll be December 23rd. I hope you're just getting your last odds and sods, the last couple things, your stocking stuffers, whatever you want to say, because this is a very stressful time of year, and the sooner you can put a bow on everything, including your presents, the better. But if you're listening to this and you are struggling to make it through your town, your shopping district, your shopping mall, your whatever, you're running errands, if you're listening to me right now, just listen to what I have to say. Don't do anything stupid, and don't yell. It's not going to work in your favor. Okay? All right. Just breathe. Maybe have a fridge cig, a nice delicious Diet Coke, DC, if you will. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the holidays in our conversation with Mike, but I want to thank everybody who's checked out this show and enjoyed it and reached out and let me know you're enjoying it. That's one of the best gifts of all. You know, there is something scary about launching a new project, a new creative endeavor, and it flopping. But we seem to be doing something right here, and that's pretty damn heartwarming. That's just me, Pat, and Stevie. There she is. Hello. Yes. Stevie the dog for the people watching on YouTube. On that note, it's time for our call to action this week. You're going to hit pause on this podcast. You're going to go to your streaming platform of choice. I don't know what it is. I'm not here to ask questions, all right? I'm not here to pry. I'm just here to tell you, hit pause now. Go listen to Candy Cane Children. It's on the Merry Christmas from the White Stripes single. It's there. We're also going to talk about the B-side, the story of Maggie and the singing of Silent Night, and all things that is White Stripes holiday charm. So pop in those 2 into your ears, take a listen, because we want it to be as fresh in your mind when you listen to us talk about it as it was in my mind and Mike's mind when we have the conversation. And you also know that every time that you hit pause on this or you go listen on a streaming platform about the episode, about the song we are talking about that episode, it is the lovely little bit of streaming data that correlates directly with this show. So we talk about Candy Cane Children, you know, a little bump here. Obviously, the week of Christmas, a lot of people are going to listen to Candy Cane Children. That's a bad example. But other weeks are talking about Handsprings. However many of us hit pause, went and listened to Handsprings. The fat cats at Third Man Records are going to notice that and take note. So, Merry Christmas from the White Stripes is fresh in your mind now. I'm going to stop blabbing. Everybody have a Merry Christmas and a very safe and happy holidays. And my gift to you, it's not that much. It's not much of a gift. It's me and Mike Noble talking about Candy Cane Children. Our guest this week joins us for their three-peat appearance. He's Argado, podcast head booker, and the bassist with the biceps in Hotel Mira, a fantastic band who will be touring the UK in the new year beginning on January 28th at the Horn in St Albans, England. He is Mike Noble. Mike, is that I heard an individual proclaim that about you at your headlining gig at the Vogue Theater here in Vancouver, bassist with the biceps. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I do have biceps. Like, just anatomically. But I think they may have shrunk since I'm in my cardio running phase, but that nickname's been going on for a little while. Charlie has fun nicknames for all of us, and sometimes he'll change them up, and it's always a surprise, and it's good, though. I have a fun, and thank you for the intro. That was really lovely. The UK tour, great plug. Yeah. St Albans, quaint little town, about an hour and a half out of London. The Horn Pub, we've played there before.
Great name.
They sell merch that is, if you think of Horn Pub and you switch the first letters of each of them, you get a certain logo. and they sell merch that says Horn Pub with that logo. And yes, Ryan, I will buy you one if I remember when I'm there.
I will remind you. You're coming back. You're coming back with at least that.
Yeah, Cole bought one the last time we were there.
Yeah.
And I was like, where would you wear this?
Uh
Well, you're the exception to the rule, but we don't have to get into why that's the thing.
I hope a or more than one listener of this program seeks out Hotel Mira. There's some listeners in the UK, but please do that if you're listening to this and you're in the UK. Mike, why do bands make Christmas songs?
Do you want the real reason?
I'd like the real reason and then the glossed over 'tis the season reason.
The real reason is that the money that you can make through Christmas plays is unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's like the entire music industry shuts down for like 6 weeks and only plays one genre of music. Like if you can get in there.
Yeah.
Like it's not too bad. Like Hotel Mira has a Christmas song. Was it written for that purpose? Yeah, it's called Red and Green.
I thought that was about a CBC show.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's about fucking Red Green. I was like, who's the actor? That song did predate my time.
Okay.
That was with the previous incarnation of Hotel Mira that has an old band name. But yeah, so like we have a Christmas song. We've played it live before. Charlie did. That was the acoustic song Charlie did at the Vogue.
Okay, that makes
a
lot more sense because I was like, what's he riffing on here?
What's this song? What's this Christmas song? Yeah. So, but we only have one. Like we're not quite Grinches, but like it's we lean into different. Like Christmas is a bit too cheerful for Hotel Mira. But that said, for myself, I love when bands I love do interpretations of Christmas songs. Like I'm a big Killers fan.
I was just going to say.
And the Killers probably do like a Christmas song. Like they used to do it once a year. Now they're a bit more sparse, but like I look forward to the Christmas Killers drop. They actually just did one like the other day. And I'm glad to see that White Stripes joined in on that. On Jack White's like a pretty Christmassy name in general.
Yep.
It's not like it's kind of Jack Frost,
Oh, absolutely. What color is snow? Hey,
exactly.
You rest your case.
Exactly. Jack White, maybe and he wears red. He kind of has like a Santa vibe.
You're not wrong. And he's a big godhead. He was going to go join a ministry or whatever the things you do as a teenager to learn how to become a priest. And then he said, I don't know. I just got a new big guitar amp. I don't know if I can take it with me. So he pivoted for all the right reasons, but a lot of, there's a lot of Jesus stuff.
I know this isn't on the run sheet, but like we can continue the Jack White Santa parallels if we want. Like both have a big workshop. With that I see an assembly line. I see some like minions hitting hammers and things popping out on the other end.
Yeah.
I feel like Jack White like he gives like would live in the North Pole energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa has a well-renowned spouse in Mrs. Claus, and I would say Jack White through his years has had a very he doesn't have a backup goalie. It's a 1A, 1B tandem, whether that's Meg White or Karen Elson or now Olivia Jean. Like his significant other is bringing as much to the table as old Santa Claus does because, Mrs. Claus keeps that thing running like a top. And I think so do the various partners of Santa Jack.
I have two more Jack White Santa jokes. I just want to riff them off quickly. One, Jack White would for sure tour by reindeer-pulled sled. Unquestionably. Like, if it was a feasible option, he'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And my last one, it is an absolute shame he didn't call his Christmas record Get Behind Me, Santa.
Well, that's the show, everybody.
Yeah, good night. See you later.
Hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing from you in the new year.
Yeah.
In this, all right. So the song this week is Candy Cane Children. This song is old.
Yes.
I didn't in my in my exposure and my knowledge of the band, I thought this song came out and was conceived and written in 2002. But this song is one of the earliest. It's one of the earlier recordings, like on vinyl or that was released by the band, because it comes out in '98 for this holiday themed compilation called Surprise Package Volume 2, which
Not Get By Me Santa.
Yeah, which should have been called that. That features the band, the White Stripes with the Candy Cane Children, and the Blow Tops with Sidewalk Santa, and Rocket 455, who are one of the garage rock stalwarts, who were holding down the scene before Jack and Meg took hit the ground running. They had a song called Santa Ain't Coming for Christmas. I don't know about you, Mike, but the theme of these song titles, you think that the White Stripes would have the only kind of jovial, happy-go-lucky Christmas song with Candy Cane Children, but based on what we know about it, this is a bit of a dreary Christmas compilation, because the first thing I think of when I hear Candy Cane Children is this is not a joyous song.
No, and like the thing about Christmas songs is that it's like every angle's been done.
Sure.
Right? So it's kind of just like, and I think with the alternative rock space, the indie rock, garage rock space that the White Stripes, occupied and kind of revolutionized. The draw is, it's just like, I want to hear their interpretation. Like, what does Christmas mean to them? Like, what are all these things? And I think that comes across like quite well in Candy Cane Children. Like, it's dark, it's brooding, and it's like the storytelling Jack White that we very well are very accustomed to at this point. Well, not at this point in their timeline, at this point in 2025 as we speak about it, right? Like in 1998, I would have been like, oh, who's this guy? But like but you know what I mean.
A bleak Christmas and singing
exactly.
a song about it.
Exactly.
When I like listen to these lyrics, I don't want to say I don't like this song, but I'm never inclined to listen to it that much.
I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, like just like in terms of like the Christmas songs of the Killers or Smashing Pumpkins or the Damned or even the Ramones, like all Weezer, they all have these like Christmas songs that might they might paint a more bleak picture, but they sound like Christmas songs. Yeah. This song paints a really just unhappy picture of facing fears or having to bow up to a shitty family member or somebody that's come home for Christmas. And it's also really old White Stripes that was jarring and kind of sonically uncomfortable to listen to. So I don't want to say I don't like this song, but there's not something bringing me back. What did you think when listening to it?
So, okay, I have a lot to say. I came in here with one crazy thing to bring up that I'll end this little rant with, but it reminds me a lot of so when I was on for the second time we did Screwdriver. Yeah, I feel like these two songs share a very similar DNA in that they're really jammy. It's just like in the live version of Candy Cane Children, there's this really cool part where they kind of lean into it a bit more that I don't think it's as much on the recorded version. But also, I said this about Screwdriver, and I kind of say it about Candy Cane Children as well, where the only time they've and this is just me being a musician and hearing things and kind of sort of knowing maybe how the process was, but ultimately guesswork. But the only time they ever played Screwdriver that way in the recording is when they recorded it. It was a song that was meant to just jam, okay, we're in E major, let's go for a ride, that sort of thing. Absolutely. I kind of feel the same about Candy Cane Children. And that kind of was highlighted to me in the sense of the recorded version and the very few live versions than the one that was referenced is already different. And I completely echo the fact that it doesn't feel Christmassy at all. It feels thumbed in. It was just kind of oh shit, we got asked to do this compilation. What do we got? And so they, candy canes are Christmas themed. It fits the White Stripes aesthetic. Like, this could have just been a song.
Yeah.
You know, like Jack White could have put this out in like April, and it'd be like, oh yeah, like it mentions Christmas because like as it gets, he wrote at that time of year. Like they didn't lean in at all. Like you can just like you could have had Meg like hitting some sleigh bells on like the downbeats or something like that, but they just chose not to. But the one big revelation that I had listening to this song in a way that I was just like, this has to be brought up.
Yeah.
Is that they basically repurposed this for their Jolene cover.
In what
Like,
way?
musically, like the picking, it's like it's in D minor. Like I just listened to it like immediately, and I was like, oh, this is Jolene. And here's a fun fact that we've never revealed in public. Maybe don't clip this part actually, because I don't want to know if it's gonna go see the internet. Like, the real heads will have to find it. But Hotel Mira recorded a version of the White Stripes cover of Jolene.
Really?
But we never released it because of legal reasons.
Sure.
Which I will tell you why off camera. But because of that, I've become intimately familiar with the arrangement of White Stripes Jolene. And as soon as I heard like the opening notes and the opening chords to Candy Cane Children, Candy Cane Children. Yeah. Sorry, I was on lyrics, and the first lyric is Candy Cane Girl. I was like, did I get the song name wrong? As soon as I heard that, I was like, this is Jolene. And then I cross-referenced with like the chord progression, because I was like, I think I have a pretty good ear. But I was like, this is for sure D minor to G, and like, you know, the Fs and, you know, chord shit. And then turns out, yeah, it's Jolene.
That's a mind blower, and that is the clip. Because I've never, like, Jolene is a jarring song, and much like Jolene, the studio version, I find it sonically uncomfortable. It's really tense and cutting, and they never. Not saying they didn't. They played it completely differently, but much like a lot of the songs that we're talking about that are recorded for albums or singles, they take on a complete life of their own the second that they've been captured, which is like, that's just what is so special about the White Stripes. Like Jack White has said in countless interviews, like they never wanted to play the same song the same way more than once. Like they were always trying to make something unique about it. But you just blew my mind about Jolene, and
AB them when you can. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and you know, they started covering Jolene, I think, around this time, and you know, perhaps they looked at what Candy Cane Children was and saw the guts and said, hey, you know what we could do with this, and it became one of their biggest covers.
Yeah. No, the Jolene cover rules, but like that was the one thing. Like obviously, the Candy Cane Children goes in a different direction, and obviously, like so much of Jolene, the cover of Jolene and the song of Jolene itself, there are the lyrics and the story it tells, and Jack White's emotion when delivering that. But this is an episode about Candy Cane Children and not about Jolene. So I was gonna say, but that is what it reminded me of, like just pretty quickly off the bat, and then like the back half of the song, it's cool. Like it's jammy Jack White, it's jammy White Stripes. Like you can't hate it. I mean, like, but you can like songs more than it, but like it gets its purpose across.
Absolutely. For reference, the first time they played Jolene was in September of '99. So
spicy.
And they didn't. For what we know, they didn't play Candy Cane Children live until like the Elephant Tour. So it really makes you think.
It really does make you think. And not in Hotel Mira, because we don't really do covers, but there are, like, I've been in bands where, like, you know, there's the classic, like, oh, if you're gonna do a cover, like, don't, like, you know, when people like, let's reinvent the cover.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, I like when other people do it, but if I'm involved in a project, I'm kind of just like, I kind of like maybe just cover it exactly, because it's just like I feel like, or depending on the workflow of the artist, but it's like if you're spending so much creative energy on something on a cover, like like if you're reinventing a cover, you might as well just like make it the original an original song. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
And we kind of came like, I don't know. I feel like the 90s and the 2000s, you've like, irony was so prevalent that you had to like.
I'm wearing a Bass Pro Shop hat. Irony is still very prevalent.
But you couldn't play something the way it was. You had to make your own. I can remember like, I remember Rockstar Supernova of all things, where
dude, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, where they where it's like that woman did Ring of Fire, and it's like, you can't perform that the way it sounds. You've got to make it unique. And then now I'm kind of at a point like, just if you like the song and you're passionate about it, like performing it the way it is will resonate, and it's not something you need to worry about.
I have some funny Lucas Rossi stories that I'll tell you once again off air.
Off air. Let's go to these lyrics here. Again, this is a bleak song. There's a couple
it's pretty grim.
Like when I listen to this song, did you watch The Bear?
Not like I've seen a couple episodes, but not in a way that I could say I've watched it. You know what I mean?
Sure. So they do a Christmas episode that is arguably like the most stressful and like uncomfortable piece of television I've ever seen. It's called I think it's just called Fishes.
Yeah.
And it ends with like somebody throws a spoon or a fork at an uncle and like a big fight breaks out. And like this song
is that in a song?
Well, like we've said many times, Jack is not an autobiographical songwriter. I do not think that this song is what the Gillis household looked like or felt like on Christmas, but he is painting a picture. He's telling a story of like a really, an uncomfortable time. And like for some of us, we all love Christmas and it's easy and fun. And for a lot of people, it's stressful and uncomfortable, and people drink way too much and air their grievances. And like, that's the picture that they're telling in this. And like, there's just a couple of lyrics in here that barely make it a Christmas song. But what a world, Christmas once again, girl, that's 364 tears.
Yeah.
So like, it also doesn't say if there's going to be tears on this day, if there's going to be 365 tears, but clearly this girl has had a miserable year, and it's like, well, it's Christmas. And like, I don't know, when I hear that, I'm put in the mindset of like, oh, there are people that Christmas is just another day on the calendar. It doesn't matter. There's nothing that makes it special. And the narrator is saying like, hey, that's you in this situation. And it's fun.
I would go as far to say that there's like a fearful tone. Like it's like the only thing Christmas about this song is that it says the word Christmas.
Yes. And pardon me for interrupting, but so when Christmas finally comes and nobody's got a gun,
yeah,
you
dog.
think it might be fun to hang around, think again, girl.
Yeah, and then it switches to the boy, and it's like when Christmas finally comes and nobody's got a gun, you think it might be fun to get a new toy. It's like, God damn, dude. Like it's like, yeah, like it's about it's like Hotel Mira isn't a Christmas band, but I think we have more Christmas spirit than this.
There's
like this is pretty grim.
Christmas spirit. Like,
yeah.
And then the last time they mentioned Christmas, and again, I can't think of a White Stripes song that talks about guns or anything remotely to that. But when when no one's got a gun and you think it might be fun to make a stand, think again, man. So now you have a girl, a boy, and a man that are clearly entering a uncomfortable situation that is allegedly on Christmas, and whoever is there is being like, don't even think about having a nice time here because you ain't gonna have it because we ain't having it.
Yeah, there's a couple interpretations of this. Like, I think if we're really like leading into the actual Christmas aspect of this, you can infer it as like a really dysfunctional family Christmas.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Like beyond dysfunctional, like quite like very, very bad. Like I was thinking, like I was gonna say toxic, but I was like, no, it's worse than that. Like like it's talking about a family getting together. The mention of a gun is there.
Yeah.
And then, but basically how the song works, just imagine the Jolene chords playing underneath it as I talk about this. But basically, it's so Candy Cane Children's the name of the song. There's a verse that says Candy Cane Girl, and then the chorus has the lyrics about a gun, and it ends with the girl, and then the second verse is the boy, and then it's same thing, and then the last chorus, it switches the perspective to be talking about a man.
Yeah.
And if we are going in a if we're going with a family perspective, the man theoretically, I don't think it's crazy to infer that they mean like the father of this situation. And like also in like a lot of these situations, you know, like he's probably the one who owns the gun and stuff like that, right? You can, and maybe this is just the optimist in me, you can kind of infer it as it being hopeful at the very, very end, because it's almost saying like, hey man, if you're gonna start some shit, think again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because it's like, think again about taking a stand. Like, what are you taking a stand against, right? Whereas with the kid lines, it's like pretty grim and dark. Who does this make the narrator in this story? And like, but also in the same breath, you can infer like the last line is also very grim and dark. And if I'm a betting man, that's probably what he's going for. Like, I don't think like Jack White would wrap it, like, not to use a Christmas metaphor, but like wrap everything up in a nice little bow at the end here. But it's, I don't know, like I think there's a version where you can interpret that as being positive, but I don't think that's the intent. I think Jack White's just being like a little bit of an edgelord with this one.
I think so too. And like the optimist in me is like, there's a family, at least of the boy, the girl, and the man, where they are going into a really, like, they're going to see their extended family, and they're like, we live miserable lives. You know, we're going to make sure that you're miserable and don't try to change our miserable lives, because that's when the gun's going to come out or something along those lines. But it could just be these three people only have each other, and they're making sure that everybody is just as miserable as the other because they don't know anything else.
I do think there's four people in this story, because I do think the narrator's a character, like the lyricist. Maybe this is like, this is a little like I'm 14 and this is deep kind of vibe, but like the way the lyrics read, it feels like that person's in the room describing three other people.
Could be the mother or the other parent. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And then of course the first lyric, or which comes up twice, is "Why don't you open me up?" Which I couldn't get a read on that to save my life. I don't know what they're.
I like. Is it supposed to be like a gift? Yeah. Yeah, I would like it. Like, I think we're being too generous with the Christmas metaphors here.
I think that they were like, hey, let's write a Christmas song. Okay, Christmas, Jesus, church, mass, dinner, presents. Well, why don't you open me? Yeah. It's probably that.
Yeah. Man.
So this song, Candy Cane Children, was recorded at Jack's house in '98, and it was mixed by Jack and Brendan Benson.
I loved it. I loved how you framed this, because like without the Oxford comma in the prep sheet, I was like, "Who's Jack Benson?" It's like a real Cody and Brandy Rhodes situation.
Jack Benson, they mixed it, and then in 2002 they recorded the B-sides when they decided to do a Christmas single, and those were done at Jack's house, and they were mixed by Jack and maligned excommunicated member of the White Stripes running buddies from Detroit, Jim Diamond, who famously and unsuccessfully sued them for looking to get a bit more in terms of arguing the influence he had on the band.
So was one of the B-sides just a straight up cover of Silent Night?
Okay, so did you listen to him?
No, you didn't like them.
I actually did.
Where?
In the doc.
That's my bad.
So what's great, the B-sides are no music. Jack White is reading basically a story about the three wise men, I think visiting Jerusalem or visiting the baby Jesus for the first time. And they're very earnest. They're like, we think that this is, and they sound like kids, which is,
yeah.
And they're like, oh, we
Weird.
think this is very important a very important story to learn to get the full story of Christmas. And then Jack has Meg sing Silent Night.
Oh yeah. I remember we talked about this
with no accompaniment, and she like goofs on the words and like kind of forgets, and like Jack coaches her, and then he like corrects her, and then at the end of it she's like, yo, Jack, it's round yon virgin, like I was right, you were wrong. So it's just a fun little kind of goof and a little peek into, you know, their dynamic and what the band was all about. And it's, you know, it's not one to put on the Christmas, you know, mix, because it's not music, but like it's a nice little glimpse into the White Stripes family. I will ask you this.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the trend on like podcasts or wherever where you like somebody's challenged to earnestly and like really sing without any music or like accompaniment to, like, you know, just on a mic, like naked essentially?
Is this entrapment? Like
no, it is not. I'm just like curious if you've heard about this.
No, I haven't.
Would you do that? This is not a request.
No, I wouldn't. I can barely do it like live with my band playing.
Sure.
With me, you know, like I'm just not that type of person.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would say, no, I do not wish to do that. But, you know, there's so much made about how shy and reserved and timid and nervous like Meg White is, that she takes on that challenge. She is singing in all of her, you know, who she is, whether her unique sound and voice, and like doesn't, you know, I don't know how many times she flinched before, but like she's like, yeah, record me singing earnestly and authentically in a register that is, you know, higher than mine, and yeah, let's pump it out there. Let's press 1,000 of these.
So this is also this is an interesting, like, this is a thing that I miss about music.
Yeah.
That's such a broad statement to go into this like one tiny point, but for these split singles, like back in the day, the B-sides of these were where you like, for lack of a better way of saying it, that's where you had fun.
Exactly.
Like think of how many like fucking weird Guns N' Roses B-sides there are that are just lost to the annals of time. Like that doesn't exist on Spotify anymore, because everything that goes out there has to be like, now I'm on my streaming rant, but everything that goes out there has to, like, you know, be curated for the algo and shit like that. So like, and like it's like everything's like a tightly like neat package that has to be presentable. And also streaming has it's the death of the secret song. Which I also hate.
Of course, yeah. Like
I loved the secret song, but anyways, yeah. So
like the B-side, like if you put a single out, the average person that's going to be like, oh, Hotel Mira has put out a Christmas song. The A-side is their Christmas song that they've put a lot of effort into, and it's getting a lot of spins. And then you've got the goofball B-side, which naturally will have less streams. And if you're on Spotify, the number's right there. And then they go, well, why would I listen to this piece of garbage if it's got like 500,000 less streams than this good song? Like, it's an instant deterrent. And it's like, unless you really want to know as much as you can about that band or that artist, you're not going to go and seek that out.
Yeah. And it's like for the diehards specifically, because like realistically, like only a very hardcore fan of the White Stripes is going to buy their Christmas like split 7-inch, you know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. For all those listening with audio, Ryan just held it up in front of the camera.
Oh, it is in video now, so you will be in luscious video on YouTube.
Oh yeah, right. And Spotify does that now too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now that was the split single with a few other bands. But then when it came time to their single in 2002, "Merry Christmas from the White Stripes," that is where that goofy, the having fun with Silent Night and Story of Maggie appears.
Yeah, clearly an album cover that's taken in like summer.
Oh yeah, and
yeah, like they're in like t-shirts. There's not an inch of snow on the ground.
I will say this, I'm holding it up on YouTube. I reached out to White Stripes historian and nephew of Jack White, Ben Blackwell, in my ongoing quest of communication with him. And I just said, hey, who's the guy on the cover buying the Christmas cheer? And that is little Jack Lawrence of the Greenhorns, the Dead Weather, and the Raconteurs.
Bass player, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, great bass player.
And I will say this: if we are talking about getting interactions with notable people in the White Stripes realm, on the back of the cover is Meg White, and she's got a piece of chalk, and she is writing a very unique thing above an entryway to a door. And I remember reading somewhere that it was in like the Polish culture or in some side of religion that Jack was raised in. You bless a new home with that, or you bless a house with some sort of symbolism. I'm not sure what the initials mean. But Jack, in the last year or two, on his Instagram, posted a photo from of his whatever in his kitchen, and there was the
It's still there.
No, well, now it's a new house. Obviously, that's at his place in Detroit. But I'm like, oh, there's another one of those things, and so I replied to him saying hey, this is the same thing that's on the back of the Christmas single. What is it? And Jack replied to me saying,
whoa,
in the comments saying, it's a Polish house blessing. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So what this for sure is, I mean, this came out in what, 2002, you were saying?
This single did, yes.
Yeah, so it's blanket, the 20 on the end and the 02 at the end is 2002, for sure.
Yeah. But
so in the middle, it's first initials, I guess. Meg. I don't
Meg,
know who
yeah. Who's Ben and K, but hey, you never know.
Jack, silent K at the start.
So this is, I also say I have the UK pressing of this. I bought it off eBay when I was in grade 11.
Nice.
And it
that
doesn't
be legit coughing. That wasn't me being a shit. Good timing though.
Yeah.
Getting over a cold.
On the US version, on the North American pressing, they have a bunch of song credits and all that stuff on the back, and including a message. Typed message that says, "The White Stripes wish you and yours a wonderful Christmas, this and every year. No portion of the recordings or packaging of this record is in any way meant to be blasphemous, and the White Stripes take considerable offense from anyone believes it to be."
I feel that should just be a blanket thing on every record that ever comes out. Unless it's actually meant to be blasphemous. It'll be one of those things where this is such a weird reference, but I'm on Reddit a lot. I'm a big Reddit user, and there's a thing a couple years ago where there was a line in their yearly updates that would say if this line is in here, it means Reddit hasn't been investigated by the FBI or something. And and 1 year it was taken out and people noticed, so they didn't explicitly say it. So I'm picturing this world where every record says it's not meant to be blasphemous, but if it doesn't have it, everyone knows it's meant to. Anyway, sorry. That was a weird tangent and an aside, but anyway.
You go look at all the Black Sabbath albums and it's missing.
Dude, or it just has it in big bold font. It's just we're just joking, guys.
We're just taking the piss out of the big guy upstairs.
Yeah.
My one thing I wanted to say earlier when I was saying describing Meg saying Silent Night. When I heard that, and I heard that, you're hearing this incredibly shy, reserved person be put in that position and just do it. I was like, the jig is up. I'm not worried about her, crumbling on stage or being shy or put into a difficult place, because she's in on it. She
Yeah,
knows that it's good for the White Stripes, gimmick.
Yeah. No, that's sweet. And like I would say something like that almost adds to Meg's mysterious enigma.
Dude, 100%. Like you hear her on the albums and you just think like, oh, there's Jack throwing her off the dock to learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure she's more than comfortable in that role and knows that the authenticity in her voice, regardless of how an expert or a well-sung singer will interpret it, like she knows it's like for the good of the group. This is what we should do. It's not
totally.
Nobody's got the gun from Candy Cane Children, to her head. So
Good callback.
So back to Candy Cane Children.
Yeah.
Like this song's from '98. It really reminds me of it's a very clear time capsule of that era. He's kind of playing guitar on this the way he did in one of their singles, Lafayette Blues. That never made the first album, but it's pretty prominent in this kind of early era. Well, he's trying to do that kind of surf Dick Dale thing, but kind of in like a sloppy way.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like he's beating up his guitar at points. Like he's like the shots are like him just sort of like punching his guitar, which I think is sick. I think it's like one of the coolest things like a guitarist can do. And
he's gone on record a lot of saying, it might get loud. I get in fights with my guitar. Like he's telling the kid to stomp on it and stuff.
That's when music sounds the coolest, when it feels like you're just trying to like tame your instrument.
Oh,
people who have too much control over their instrument, it's not fun.
Jack's
sounds pretty good, but yeah.
No, not everything needs to sound like a nice black on black American-made Fender Stratocaster.
Yeah, black on black stuff. I mean, that's what Clark plays, but he customized it, so it's different.
So I'll ask you this: is this song about Christmas?
Like in the same way that like Jingle Bells is about Christmas? Like, no. Is it Christmassy? Can it make it on a Christmas compilation? I think it crosses that line. Like, I think it crosses that finish line.
Yeah.
There is like an absolute plethora of like fucked up Christmas songs. But like at least some of them, like, so I have this playlist that I've made on Spotify back like when I got Spotify like 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Called Indie Rock Christmas, but rock is spelled RAWK. It's very cool. I add to it every year. And like there's a lot of songs, and like a very few of them are covers. Like there's a couple like Don't Let the Bells End by The Darkness is on there, and like there's a few more. It's and like Sufjan Stevens has that album that's like 120 Christmas songs or something like that. They're like some of them are covers, some of them are originals. My personal favorite is Hey Guys, It's Christmas Time by Sufjan, and all the killer stuff are on the playlist. Anyways, that said, I do feel, because a lot of them are original Christmas songs on this like master Christmas indie rock playlist that I've concocted over my travels, I kind of feel I've had the scope of what people can sing about that qualifies as a Christmas song.
Sure.
Can I put this in my headphones and walk around on a snowy December night listening to it? That's kind of like a bit of the criteria. And
Sure.
with Candy Cane Girl, I would say yes. Like it does pass that bar in a very weird way.
Yeah.
Would I add it to my indie rock Christmas playlist? Respectfully, probably not, because it's a bit too dark. But I think this is probably the darkest like version of the like the Christmas isn't for me. It's not a fun time. It's not a happy time. It actually brings back really bad memories.
Totally.
Which is like, if that is a genre of Christmas song. Like the anti-Christmas song is a Christmas song. And this is just like a bit more twisted version of that.
Yeah.
But it still qualifies under what I would consider a Christmas song. And it's also really doubled down because like the B-side is Silent Night, which is like the Christmas song.
I think of like one of my favorite like rock Christmas songs is the Ramones, Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight.
Hell yeah.
And that's a song about like clearly you're in a tough spot with your family or your partner and you're like, hey, let's just have one night where we're not arguing or fighting. But you know, it gives you that reprieve of like, we're going to celebrate Christmas. Well, Candy Cane Children is like, no. There's no celebration. You will not be enjoying Christmas time.
Yeah. So I pulled up my playlist and I'm just going to name the names of some of these songs.
Sure.
So like there's one called Alone on Christmas Day by Phoenix.
That sounds sad.
So yeah, exactly. And like there's a song by a band called We Are the City that doesn't exist anymore called Bytown, which is about just like hating Christmas. Where Are We Here?
Was that a local band?
They were so good. That was the Worst Christmas Ever by Sufjan Stevens. I had a point to make. Yeah, Merry Christmas Maybe by the Mounties. Like it's all these If We Make It Through December by Phoebe Bridgers. You know, like it's like a lot of these like, you know, like In the Bleak Midwinter by Wolf Alice. It's like
it paints a picture of like this is a hard time of year for as joyous and as fun as it can be, and that you find in it. It's like, oh, it's tough, it's expensive, it's stressful, it's busy, it's, you know, you got to see people you don't really like because that's what family does. And so
exactly.
But this song,
is a bit twisted, but it's I still think it qualifies under this subjective criteria that we've created.
I would agree with you. One quick thing to make note to make about the lyrics is the lyric, and nobody knows how to talk to children. That is a filmmaker took that lyric and turned it into what became a unauthorized doc and performance video about the White Stripes in 2002 or 2003, and to the point that they the band said like, you can't release this, we won't allow it, and they were really unhappy with the product. And I don't think it was there's stuff on there that we're doing or saying that we don't want to get out. It's more, we're so hyper protective and hyper specific about how this band is presented and modeled, that like this is not good enough for what, you know, this does not meet our expectations. I was reading this old interview about like the White Stripes early days, and like around this time of Candy Cane Children, somebody recounted like the White Stripes are playing this dive bar in Detroit, and Jack's like, they have not gotten the lighting correct for the band, and he like stormed off in a huff, and they're like, okay, like let's get the next band up.
Yeah.
Like, so
Amen.
and I've never watched that doc, and I've got a rip on my computer that I'm gonna watch over Christmas.
You'd probably be fascinated.
I'm very excited because like there was this like, growing up as a candy cane child, which is you know, that's what the alternate nickname of White Stripes fans used to be, which is a good I like that. It's better than bellhops.
I would call them the Seven Nation Army. Like that's what I would call my fans if I were the White Stripes.
That's not bad either. I like that.
Like the fans are the army. I think something there.
The band, the fifth member of the band is the goddamn crowd. Or the third member.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was like, I can't, like, I had opportunities to like torrent it, and I'm like, I can't watch this. Jack and Meg told me not to.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm gonna watch this piece of shit.
Yeah, torrenting this is not meant to be blasphemous, and we take offense to anyone who.
Let's go to the song's live performance history. Mike, I know you are a big fan of the website setlist.fm.
Yeah.
It's probably your homepage.
Not my homepage. It's you know how Chrome has those like 8 bubbles that like the most free. It's definitely in there.
I found my first discrepancy in terms of White Stripe sets Well, I found a couple in my kind of deep dive I'm doing. This song was played live by the White Stripes at least 4 times.
Okay.
All in the summer months. June.
Hilarious.
June 25th.
Yeah, it's a Christmas song.
June 25th in 2003, they played it at Stubbs Barbecue in Austin, Texas.
Which I've eaten at, and it's delicious.
Ooh.
And they had a Black Keys pop-up show for South by Southwest there when I was there last year, 2 years ago.
It's nice to hear the food is good.
Food was insane.
Sorry about that.
Stubbs is kind of like an institution in Austin. It's like right on 5th.
That's awesome.
Cool.
3 days later, they enjoyed it so much they played it in Kansas City at Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, day after Canada Day, they celebrated the Christmas season by playing Candy Cane Children at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois. And that is on the Deluxe Elephant release, which you can find on your streaming platforms.
Oh, crazy.
And that's a good show because Jack is quite sour because he doesn't think the crowd is hot enough or making enough noise or doing enough. And then Meg comes out and does In the Cold, Cold Night, and that place erupts like the Road Warriors are coming out.
Hell yeah.
Which probably only made Jack even more sour.
Road Warriors in Chicago as well.
Jesus, I didn't even think about that.
Are they're from Chicago, right?
100%.
Yeah. Good reference.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, June 4th in Sao Paulo. How do you pronounce that in Brazil?
Sao Paulo?
Yeah, they played it there at the Credit Card Hall. And the Kansas City one is available on Nugs, and the July 2nd one was a Vault issue, and of course the deluxe version of Elephant,
which was the one that I listened to because in the document.
And it's quite short too. Yeah, it's not the long.
It's a minute 48. It's crazy.
Yeah, they go right through it. The other thing is Jack White famously. Not famously, but in this circle, there was a stretch in July of '99. So again, the song only gets played in the summer months. But Jack did 2 shows in Detroit with a band because Meg was about to undergo a tonsillectomy, so she was kind of unable to perform with Jack. So he got a band together. I believe it is Blackwell on drums and Brendan Benson was in the group, but like a traditional 4-person band. And he played a lot of White Stripes songs and covers and like songs in '99 that appeared on at least White Blood Cells 3 years later. But he performed Candy Cane Children with this band, the Bricks, at a bowling alley in Detroit. So this song only gets played in the summer months, but it's still effectively a Christmas song. And then that is its incredibly short live history.
Yeah. I mean, hey, like minute 48, crazy short live song.
Mike, wrapping up, what do you look for in a Christmas song?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't really like I don't think I would like a Christmas song. Like, how do I frame this? I want to see artists I like what their interpretation of Christmas is.
For sure.
That's what I look for in a Christmas song. Like, if I wanted hooks, I'd listen to fucking Little Drummer Boy, or Deck the Halls.
For hooks?
I mean, fa la 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 la. It's pretty catchy, but what I mean is it's just like, so that's why I like the Killers' Christmas songs. Like, obviously the Killers love Christmas. That's why they do their songs every year. But their Christmas songs are like legit bangers. Like, they're good songs. Like, Boots is insane.
They're very good songs.
So I kind of like watching or listening to my favorite artists' interpretations of like what Christmas means to them. Like 1975 had a song off their last record, the last record being called Being Funny in a Foreign Language. The song's called Wintering. Mm-hmm. It's not a Christmas song, but it is. It's like it talks about like coming home on December 23rd and has like kind of a wintry vibe to it. Yeah, I don't know what I look for in a Christmas song. Like, but like there's very few artists, maybe close. There's one song that would be classified as a Christmas song that I like, and I don't know any other of this artist's music, and it's Home Alone 2 by the Staves, I believe it is.
Okay.
But the Staves collab a lot with Bon Iver, so I'm sure they're good. But I just haven't gotten into their music, but I just kind of like watching or listening to interpretations of my favorite artists and like what Christmas means to them, sort of thing.
That's the perfect response, because my immediate follow-up question is Candy Cane Children an accurate interpretation of what Christmas means to the White Stripes, or did they
for sure?
Or,
I think.
You think so?
I don't know. It's tough to say.
I'd love to know. Maybe that's like, because I think that this is at least Jack. Like, I mean, there's just such a fun-loving nature to this band, and the childlike imagery and the religious imagery. Like, I got to imagine that they enjoy Christmas time, but maybe not.
No, I also think, like, because this is so early in their career, they probably hadn't like loosened up a bit. You know, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know
exactly what you mean.
You know, like, it's kind of just like when you first start out to be like a very serious band, there's a lot of like take me seriously energy that I think a lot of early recording, like, this falls under every single artist.
Yeah.
You know, like no one is exempt from this rule. But like as you gain success and fame, and like, you know, you start knowing your audience a bit more, you start showing a bit more personality, you can kind of loosen up a bit. But I think because this is so early, there's a lot of like take me seriously energy.
You have that in young adults, and I think we were talking about this. I forget where I was talking. I think I was talking about it on the Wrestling Brain Christmas episode, where it's like it takes a little bit into your 20s or into your adulthood to, like, you know, kind of ease up and like, oh, I'm not going to do the things that my family does. I'm not going to do the traditions. Like, I do Christmas the way I want to. And then it kind of becomes a bit of take me serious energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then eventually over time, you're just like,
yeah,
I'm going to play drums in the dead weather. And then it's like, okay, cool, man.
Well, Mike, on that note, I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
I come from a family of seemingly no Christmas traditions. We have one, and it is, and I'll just get the ball rolling. I'd like to know a family tradition that you have that you have every year, and you know, you are half Filipino, so there could be one from your mom's. You know,
I know my answer. I know my answer. Don't worry.
Okay, so like mine is my mom's. My mom was adopted, and her adopted parents would always make brandy Alexanders around the holidays. And brandy Alexanders are like, it's ice, it's half and half, although we do oat milk now because it's not disgusting. And it's brandy and then this old man liquor called cream de cacao, or however you pronounce it.
It's not an old man liquor.
Oh, come on. That thing, and go into any liquor store, it's collecting dust. But you blend it all together, and it kind of comes out like a boozy milkshake. Yeah. And you serve them in like a smaller glass, but not a shot glass. And like we would always have them around the holidays, and I wouldn't say that we had a Candy Cane Children Christmas. You know, maybe I would say more we had
no guns,
but like, you know, for whatever it was challenging around our year or around the holidays, like that got put on the back burner, and like everybody really liked Christmas, and it was time to, you know, that's when the good memories are. So I remember one year nobody made brandy Alexanders, and I was in my 20s or so, and I'm like, well, fuck this is me. I am running this into the ground. Like, we're making brandy Alexanders as long as I'm breathing.
Yeah.
So that's our one tradition. My dad would always love to say that John Lennon and who's the guy that did Jump
Paul McCartney?
Jump in the Fire.
Jump in the Fire?
Harry Nilsson.
Oh, I was like, James Hetfield?
They got drunk on brandy Alexanders at a Smothers Brothers show in LA, and like they kicked John Lennon out of it.
Yeah. Last weekend.
Yeah,
That
part of
was
the
at the
Lost-
Troubadour. That was at the Troubadour.
Yeah. So
When
my
we
old
play-
man, huh?
When I was gonna say when we played the Troubadour, I went up to the bartender and I was like, "Where was John Lennon sitting when he got kicked out?" and they just looked at me. They're like, "Shut up, dude."
Shut the fuck. You think
Yeah.
you're the first person to ask
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I'm gonna have this groundbreaking question.
So my old man always loved to say that there's a Beatles or like kind of seedy LA rock connection to our Christmas tradition. So
Nice.
that's mine, and I'm gonna be buying that old man liquor at the liquor store tomorrow to bring out to my sisters. What's a Christmas tradition that you have?
Yeah, so my family, so I'm half Filipino. I've been very grateful to grow up very close to my grandparents on my dad's side. I can tell you that they live 2.6 kilometers away because when I do 5Ks, sometimes I just run to their place and then run back home. They're so very close my entire life, and basically, we would always do Christmas Eve at their place.
Yeah.
And like my family also doesn't really drink. And by doesn't really drink, I mean like don't. Like I never grew up around alcohol at all.
Okay, yeah.
With my immediate family, I should say, like my extended family, like yeah. But like so we'd always do Christmas Eve there, and then Christmas Day we would open our stockings and then wait for our grandparents to show up for the rest of everything else. And I just remember it being so antsy as a kid, being fuck, like that box really looks like a PlayStation. Like I like, grandma better get here. And then on Christmas Day, we would jump into the fire. And anyone who has an extended Filipino family knows exactly what I mean when I say jump into the fire, because we would celebrate Christmas on my mom's side. And my mom's the youngest of 10 siblings. She has a giant family, and her being the youngest means like I have family that I'm technically like, I don't know how it breaks down, but like I'm technically like their uncle or something. Not their uncle isn't the right term, but like I am like my mom's oldest siblings have kids that are like my age, so it's like I'm technically your senior by like family seniority kind of, but like, so, but, and like every year there's just more and more and more. But I have like my core group of, like the people I hang out with when I go to those Filipino gatherings, and no traditions as in like, and we sing karaoke because that's like the Filipino thing to do.
That's awesome.
It's sick. My go-to is a Kiss from a Rose by Seal, and only my family sees it. And yeah, you're not getting it unprompted here.
Don't need
it. but yeah, so like no like traditions as in like, at 7 p.m. we cut a turkey kind of thing. It's just like this is just what we do every year, and it's been like that for as long as I can remember.
I absolutely love this. You just have this giant clan of people that seems to grow every year, but it's just wild. Like, all right, we're singing karaoke.
Like I'm afraid to introduce myself to people because the amount of like they'd be like, we met like 8 years ago, and I'm like, okay, man.
Man, I love that. Mike, thank you for doing this, for being the first 3-peater.
I have a feeling I'll be the first 4-peater as well at some point.
We'll see what 2026 brings. This show might leave you in the dust. It probably won't though, because I love chatting with you about the White Stripes, and if I can think about it, you've done my doorbell, you've done Screwdriver, and you've done Merry Christmas or Candy Cane Children.
Yeah.
I think your 4th appearance will be one with a little bit more meat on the bone.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm due for a song with melody.
Well, we'll leave it there, Mike. Merry Christmas to you and the giant family that you will see and sing with on December 25th.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, bud.
Okay, that was Mike. I'm Ryan. Ryan and Mike, absolute sweetheart. If you're in the UK in early 2026, early next year, go see Hotel Mira. They are playing all up and down their United Kingdom. Please enjoy your Christmas break. Keep an eye to our social media channels, because I'm going to be consuming and a fair bit of White Stripes media and looking to have some additional content and just some good clips for our social media channels. So please keep it safe, keep it tame, but have fun over the holidays. Have a Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for enjoying this. Because the Hardest Podcast to Podcast is hosted and produced by me, Ryan Schaap. Artwork by Catlin Likely. Amanda Schultz is our assistant editorial producer, and the lovely booming voice of Mike Noble, well, he's our Gato. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Good job. Jack, it is round yon virgin.
Yeah, you're right. It's round young virgin.